1. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to hang out on Entropy Emporium. Lovely to have you here. It is time for the long awaited finale of Blooming in the Rot, our Invisible Sun actual play. It's taken us a while scheduling. As everybody knows, scheduling is the death of all games. We are determined to not let this one just die in the water. So we are here. We are ready for the finale. We are excited to be with you today. A couple of quick things before we get started. This is a recording, so if you will want to chat in chat, feel free, but we will not be able to chat back unless we are there watching it with you. So just know that we are not ignoring you by any means, but this is a recording that we did at a different time period that we're airing now. I also want to highlight that we have a Discord here at Entropy Emporium. So if you like what you see, if you like what we do, you want to come hang out, join us in our Discord. The link is JT Nod for me. Is it in the bio?
It's in the bio. We got
It's
a
in the
little list of
bio.
links in the bio.
Cool. Links are there. So definitely go check us out. Come hang out with us. It's a lot of yelling about how much we love each other. It's about how much we like Tater Tot the cat that's in the background of JT's camera. It just depends on what the day is, but it's a good time. It's fun to hang out. We like having people around. So come and join us if you are so inclined. My name is Kian. I use any and all pronouns, and I am your storyteller for today. I am going to be guiding our lovely players through this storyline. Typically, I have a nice fancy intro. I did not for the first part of the last finale. For the first half of the finale, I do not for this half of the finale either, because as I said before, everything returns to dust, and that is all that you need to know when it comes to being in the pale. I will hand it over to my players. We'll go in overlay order. So Knox, I'm coming to you momentarily. We'll go in overlay order. If you can tell me who you are, let us know your pronouns, and let us know your character sentence. So take a second to pull that up. That is everything about your character that we need to know in relevance to Invisible Sun. So Knox, whenever you are ready, I will hand it over to you. Oh, we can't hear you, Knox. Now you have to do your sentence via interpretive dance.
I don't sleep. I made deals.
Oh, it was working and now
Oh, yes, we can hear you now.
can you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It was working before we went live, I want to point out. That's ridiculous. Hi, I'm Nox. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I play Bellamy, who is sleepy all the time, but she never gets any sleep. Hopefully she'll get sleep now, but like in a not dead way. Um, and she is a apostate who eats knowledge. There's one part for that, but literally it's destroyed the little character tab that we had, so I can't find what the sentence was.
Gotcha.
All you need to know is that she doesn't sleep and that she's totally Bellamy. She's well, you'll see.
Thank you kindly. We'll send it over to JT.
Hello everyone, I'm JT. My pronouns are they, them. Tonight I will be playing Stellan Fast for the final time. Also they, them. And Stellan is a connected stoic of the Order of the Weavers who strikes deals.
Thank you. And we'll send it over to Ava. Cannot hear you, Ava.
And I muted myself. Oh my gosh. Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. You can find me anywhere, Madam Ava Couture. And tonight, or today, you can find you. I will be playing the Sonomancer Isra Namat, who is an eremitic empath of the Order of Goetic, who plumbs the depths of sleep. And she is your tragic lesbian today.
Hopefully, not so tragic by the end. We'll see.
Manifesting. There will be a wedding.
And JD.
Hello, I am JD. My pronouns are he, they, and I am playing Alistair, just Alistair, pronouns they, them. They are an itinerant empath apostate who hosts a legion and just happened to let that legion right back into their body, which I'm sure is fine and not going to end in tragedy. Let's find out together.
We are feeling some tragic vibes, is what I'm gathering from the cast today, and I can't possibly imagine why. There's no tragedy ever in this game. Everything about this game is happy-go-lucky, which is actually not true, and that is a point that I forgot to mention at the top. Technically, this is a horror game, so if horror is not your vibe, this might not be the game for you, and that's totally okay. We have plenty of other stuff here at Entropy Emporium. Come hang out for something else, but just know that there are some horror vibes to this game, so don't want you to be caught surprised by that. So, we are in the middle of combat. We are in the middle of fighting for our lives with something called the Light Eater, a creature that wanders the Pale and consumes all light that it finds. The battlefield is completely pitch black. We have got 3 of our players located on one side, all opposite of Stellan, who is going solo right now for some reason. Stellan has an agenda, has a plan, apparently, and is currently trying to wrangle this halo that exists within the Light Eater, except that it's not floating atop its head. It is shoved where its eyes would have been. Stellan, you have a magical tether to this halo right now. You have been wrestling and wrangling and trying to get this halo free. What are you doing?
An excellent question. Stellan has a lot of plans and a lot of ideas. I do not. Let me just see here. I'm going to use one of my ephemera in the moment. Just take a moment to pop a quick potion. I have the Thlanwist, which is a level 9. I gain 1 level in a skill in which I have no training. It is permanent. If I ever drink an elixir like it again, it is a poison that kills me.
Okay, noted.
But
what
I'm
are you
going
gaining
to,
a skill in?
I'm going to gain a level in Beast Strangling, if that's okay.
That is perfectly allowable. So you have 1 level in Beast Wrangling now. What does this potion look like? What is it? How do you find the balance to be able to hold on to this magical tether and drink this potion at the same time?
So magical tether in 2 hands, they wrap it around their wrist and just sort of pull it closer to themselves, and they reach into their coat pocket and pull out a small vial. You can't see what color it is because it is, if I remember, pitch dark here.
Mm-hmm.
They pop the cork off and they just drink it down.
It feels like a very refreshing drink of cold water here out in this desert in the Pale. And suddenly it seems like the Light Eater's motions, you're able to telegraph them a little bit easier. You're able to tell more of when it's going to twist and when it's going to turn. You're a little bit more aware of how it's moving and how you can then in turn sort of counteract those movements and counterbalance the directions that it's going to get it to do what you want. Are you trying to wrestle this lasso free once again?
Yes, I want that halo out of its skull.
Okay.
It's my halo.
Go ahead and roll me. I think we were having you do movement, so I'm going to have you do... Oh, no, physicality. So I'm going to have you roll physicality. This would have been a CR8. We're dropping it once for the damage already done, so a CR7. You can add your skill, which brings it to a CR6. Or, well, never mind. Ignore what I just said, because we're actually going to add the skill to your venture. We're going to add it to your die roll. So it's a CR7. Do you want to spend any Bene?
I can't. I don't have any Bene in physicality.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to spend any hidden knowledge?
That's right. We don't ever get it back.
You don't. But this is the finale.
Yeah, I do have 9. I've been sitting on it for this.
You can
Stellan
spend
would
1
never
if
have
you would
hidden
like
knowledge. I will spend 1. I think Stellan, to some extent, has studied this kind of demon and their ilk. The haloid kind, we'll say.
Okay, fair enough. That brings it down to a 6. So you're sitting at a CR6. Whatever you roll, you will add +1 because of your skill in Beast Wrangling. Just go ahead and roll your d10.
Okay. That is a 5 plus 1 is 6.
That is beautiful. You
Dead
are
on.
you are throwing your body weight back and forth, yanking at this magical tether, trying to pull this halo free. This creature is letting out these raspy, coughing breaths and snarls and screams. It sounds absolutely disgusting as it is breathing. Um, before we see the finale of this, I want to check in with everybody else. What is everybody else doing as what you see is this creature who has been focused on Stellan starting to sort of stagger its way forward a little bit closer towards Stellan instead of pulling back? It's almost like it's losing some kind of a battle from your angle, but you can't see exactly what is going on. What is everybody else doing?
I think East was just making sure the other two are okay. I think, if I remember correctly, she had a summons that helped her see a bit better in the dark.
Mhm.
So, and that's how she was able to find them. So, making sure they're still gathered together. And if they look stable and okay enough, probably start maybe moving towards Stellan to make sure that the other one of the bunch is also okay.
Alistair and Bellamy, what are you two up to?
I think Alistair has asked, as much as the Legion will listen to them, some to move towards Stellan as backup, but others to give them a sense of where the exits are so that as soon as we're able to move, we can move and get the fuck out of here as quickly as possible.
Okay. You feel some of the Legion peel off, and it is not the Legion in its entirety. It's still, there's still a lot of tension. It's hard to wrangle control of all of these demons all at one time. Even if even under Xtar's hand, even under the other demons' hands, it's hard to wrangle and make sure that they know exactly what is going on at any given time. So you feel a little bit of tension as some of them peel off and head towards Stellan. You feel a few others start to kind of scatter about. What you gather from the landscape is that you are still out in the middle of nowhere, and so exit can be in any direction. It's just that the darkness is extending so far, it's hard to know where the light is. That is the scary part. And they, as at least as far as they can go and still maintain a connection to you, they cannot find any light. It is still darkness in all directions. Bellamy, what about you? What are you up to?
So I know I had Bellamy have like Candace is here, reaching out and holding Isra and Alistair so that they're all together. So Bellamy's kind of got her hands free. Is it possible to like? Does this thing have legs?
It is not floating. It is somehow attached to the ground. What you can see just kind of seems like a shroud in the darkness that's like darker than the rest of the dark where its legs would be. So there is presumably something there that is attaching it to the ground. You can't exactly see the legs.
Yeah, but like, is it something I can pull out from under it so that it face plants?
You could certainly try.
Okay, because I'm thinking if Bellamy does that, it might. If we like, you know that torture device where they stretch the thing?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was incredible.
It's cool for chiropractic now, by the way.
We're so
It
bad.
is?
No.
Oh. Because I'm always saying I feel like I need to get stretched out because my back hurts. Anyways, that's not related. But if Bellamy's pulling the legs and Stellan's pulling something out of its face, then surely if Bellamy's pulling one end, it has to be easier for Stellan to pull the thing out.
That's a reasonable thought. That's a reasonable thought. This creature is an impossible height. This is a massive creature. How are you pulling its legs out from underneath it? Are you using magic? Are you going up with your hands? What is your plan here?
It's got to be magic because I don't think Bellamy has the physicality to do it without magic. Let me see what my physicality is. Yeah, Bellamy does not have the physicality. So I think she's going to use her magic to kind of make like a really long vine. But like it's in the pail, so I'm assuming the vine is like dead. It's fine. So, and like wrap it around the legs and get the other end and just put all her body weight and start leaning back, trying to pull the legs out from under it with this magical vine.
Roll me. I'll let you choose. Actually, it feels like it still needs to be a physicality roll.
God damn it.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to avoid it, but it feels like it still needs to be a physicality roll. I will say it's already starting to tilt to be off balance, so the CR is probably sitting at about a 6.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything magical that she could do. It's a magical vine.
It is a magical vine. If you were just using the power of the vine itself, I would say that would be a magic roll.
Then we're just using the power of the vine itself.
Okay. Let me.
And this vine looks like crochet again. But it's not as brutal as yarn.
Roll me. We'll go ahead and call this a sorcery roll then.
Okay, cool. Then I want to spend a thing.
Okay, you can spend a bene. You can spend up to 3 bene if you would like to.
Yeah, we'll just do one for now because we don't get those back, right?
You can take an action to replenish a pool.
Oh, cool. That's good to know. And you said last session that because of all of Bellamy's studying of the Pale, she has hidden knowledge on this thing.
Yeah, you can spend another hidden knowledge if you would like.
Cool. Then I'm going to do that.
That'll take it to a CR 4.
Oh, good. Thank God. Okay. That's a 4. I roll shit.
Doesn't matter. Meets it, beats it. You hit it exactly what we needed to get. You yank with the magical force of this dead vine and yank this thing's feet back. And as it's pulling back, you can see some of this sort of dark shroud from what you can see. The shroud doesn't really part, but there are claw marks in the ground as this thing is dragging, trying to keep its feet. So there's some kind of a clawed something underneath this dark shroud where its feet would be as it's trying to stay standing. Stellan, you yank and yank and yank. There is a satisfying pop when this halo breaks free. Stellan, you go stumbling backward from the force of having been pulling so fiercely with this. You go stumbling backwards. You now have a giant metal, rusted, bloody, gnarly halo. This thing is sharp. It's jagged at the edges. It's clearly seen better days. Half of it is covered in blood and viscera from where it was embedded into the Light Eater's face. As this creature lets out one final decrepit wail and slowly starts to sink into the ground itself. As it starts to sink into the ground, its mouth opens up and extends fully what would be a normal mouth opening size. I don't know how to describe this well right now. Its mouth continues to open and it continues to recede back until basically its entire head area is engulfed in what its mouth would have been. And there is an explosion of light. Everybody is blinded for the moment. You cannot see anything because there is suddenly so much light back in this space, as everything that the Light Eater has consumed up to this point is once again released back into the Pale. And as you're kind of blinking and slowly clearing your vision and trying to find your bearings again, you find yourself in the Pale. You can see again. There's more light than there was before. It's still a dusty, dark, unhappy place, so it's not like this place is lit up with fireworks or anything like that. once you get back into it, it still looks like a place that things go to die, because that is what the Pale is, the domain of the dead. But you can see each other. You see Stellan across the battlefield. Alistair, you see the Legion moving in droves across this battlefield and themselves stunned by the light, sort of caught off guard by everything coming back together. For the moment, there is nothing attacking you. There is nothing chasing you. What do you do?
Is Carter okay?
Carter is
Yeah, where was Carter?
Carter is still there. Carter is alive.
thank
Carter
God,
is
okay.
well. Carter is as well as he can be. He is still in one piece.
Carter is never taking a weekend ever again.
No. Carter will never be taking a day off the job.
You try to do
Things
one
are
good
easier if
thing
I
for
know you're
someone, and then
missing,
the
so I can come
storytelling
rescue
just
you
fucks it up.
sooner.
Jeez.
Selen, you have your halo. Are you doing anything in this moment with your halo? This is a pretty big like, it's going to take both hands to drag this thing around if you want to keep it.
I think Stellan is spending a moment to recover and just kind of sitting by it.
Alistair, the Legion is starting to regain their bearings, and chaos is erupting because there is still no clear control right now. What are you doing?
Listen, Alistair has no idea what they're doing, so the vibes that they have been putting out and are continuing to an extent to be putting out are just please, 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 please. And at one point that please was find us a way out. At one point it was help Stellan. Now it's just please don't destroy everything right here, right now. Please just don't.
Fair enough. The Legion is... If the Legion is going to destroy something, it is going to start to destroy itself. They're going to be at each other's throats. That is how they have functioned, is if whoever is the most powerful in the moment is going to be on top. And so the Legion is going to try and find within itself who is the most powerful by combating itself. It is not violence to the extent that you would expect, because X-Star is still there, and X-Star is quick to step in and sort of approach you. You feel a hand on your shoulder. X-Star is not physically there. You can see sort of the outline of where he might exist. He puts a hand on your shoulder and just says, you need to be a little bit more firm with them. They don't quite respond to pleas and begging.
I'm not a leader. That's not what I do.
I understand that, Alistair, but you might need to be a leader right now if you really want them to not destroy everything.
All right, we need to focus. We have things to do and places to go, and at this point they look to Bellamy and say, and people to find?
Yeah. I'd like to find my sibling. That'd be great.
Alistair, roll me interaction.
Okay.
We're going to call this a CR. We'll put it at a CR 5.
Okay, I'd like to spend a bene on that.
Okay. Brings it down to a 4.
That is a 7.
Wonderful. It is almost in sheer confusion that the Legion starts to slow down and stop. And what all of you are seeing, the rest of you are seeing, is this horde of demons, various sizes, some of them corporeal, some of them incorporeal. It's very chaotic in that the ones closest to Alistair seem more firm. They seem very tangible, very real. The farther out that they get, the more that they seem wispy. They seem just sort of shadows and vague shapes of themselves. They are fighting amongst themselves and at each other's throats, and just slowly kind of stop and turn and look at Alistair. and it seems a little bit in confusion. It seems a little bit in shock and awe and unexpected, in this unexpected display of an attempt at leadership, an attempt at wrangling them all together. Extar laughs quietly next to you and just says, I suppose that will do for now. You should probably try and call them back to you.
You mean, back inside my body?
It is the easiest way to transport a horde like this.
All right, everyone, we're going back to being a we right now.
Extar, the hand on your shoulder gets a little bit more real as Extar starts to take shape next to you. And he stands next to you and he snaps his fingers once very loudly. And the Legion starts to slowly dissipate from the outer edges in until the ones closest to you even start to slowly disappear. And you can feel them coming back to you. You can feel that tension and that discord starting to settle back within you as their disagreements and their bickering and their overall discordant selves are all unified in their positioning, but there's still a lot of tension between them. So it feels a little bit unsettling. It still feels a little bit like there's infighting going on. But Extar comes, like, walks around the side of you to stand in front of you, faces you, stands a little bit taller than you do, but faces you and smiles and says, well done. We'll follow your lead.
And Alistair's face very much shows that they think this is an absolute terrible idea, but they just nod in response, like they actually have the confidence to do this.
Extar nods back, knows, understands, reads your expression for what it is, understands what is going on, nods back, and then slowly disappears as well. Isra and Bellamy, what are you two up to now that the battlefield is quiet? The Legion has disappeared.
I think Isra is at least going to dismiss the, was it an angel or demon? I can't remember. Whatever the summon was that helped her see. It's like, all right. Thank you so much for assisting me. I'm sure you don't want to be here any longer, so you can go now. I feel like more protections are needed, though. I think she is going to do a protective sign because she can do those things. Let me pull up the details of that again. Where the heck is Goetic? Page 56, I think. But she is going to, while everything is quiet, get some powder out and in a crushing bowl, grind it up a bit firmer, and then she is going to go to everyone, and with consent, she will ask them, would you like a protective symbol on you? And if they say yes, she will just do, she will take some of the powder and just dot it on their foreheads and just continue on down the line that way. Just in case, because it seems like everything wants to kill us.
Carter is very quick to accept.
It's mainly for him, and she makes it dot a little bit bigger for him.
Stellan, you are sitting looking at this halo, contemplating, looking at your win, and you hear in the back of your mind the same cold voice come through as before and just says, do you feel ready to comply now?
Comply with what? I killed your dog.
I'm not trying to send the Pale after all of you. There's only one person that I'm interested in. And if you will bring her to me, this can all be over.
Unfortunately, she's not yours. I'm willing to have a talk. If there's one thing I'm willing to do, it's talk.
As this conversation is happening, Stellan, you start to feel that pull in your bones again in the northeast direction from where you are. Northeastward direction from where all of you are standing right now. You start to feel that tug once again. And the Empress simply says, "Then come to me and we can talk."
I'd like to be clear, that's all it's going to be. I will take us out of here if I have to.
I would like to see you try.
Stellan will use their recuperation time to spend an action to regain their sorcery pool.
Okay.
Just so that they have all the tools at their disposal as possible, and will stand, put their violin away, and tap their cane on the ground and say, "Okay, we need to walk. We shouldn't be harried anymore."
Question: does Bellamy know that someone's going to Stellan and like, hey, bring her to me?
No.
Of course not. Okay. Can I also spend an action to get back my stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, if anybody would like to, you can spend an action to replenish a pool.
Bellamy's just trying to figure out where to go. Like where she feels the tug, I guess. We're getting a tug, if I remember correctly.
Stellan is getting a tug.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the rest of you are not feeling that quite as intensely. It feels, the rest of you, I would say, it feels very like, almost like the power is slowly leaching from your bones. You feel like you're starting to wither away, and that has been pretty present since you got to the Pale. That seems to just be what the Pale does to people whenever they come to visit.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I need a nap.
Do not fall asleep here.
I'm not going to. I'm just getting sleepy. I'm not used to that feeling.
I mean, it would be good if you slept. I would
Do not
like
fall
that.
asleep here.
But,
not
yes,
here.
I'm agreeing with Stellan for once, a very few times. I'm agreeing with Stellan. Not here, not now.
Seems more and more frequent.
Can't hear Isra. I feel like
Oh my
Isra
God.
has something to say about this, but I can't hear her.
That's true because I keep muting myself. I'm also agreeing that this is not the best opportunity to be sleeping. I just want to at least say, Bellamy, I'm very proud of you for admitting that you do need sleep. And once
Thank
we're out,
you.
I hope you sleep for a very long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I think in my contract with Stellan, I have to get sleep at least every 3 days.
A minimum of 8 hours every 3 days.
Yes, that was the contract. So I'm going to be sleeping a lot more.
Baby steps.
It only took a contract to get you to sleep. I'm still proud. Concerned, but proud.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, this trophy is too big to carry, so I will leave it here.
Like, if Bellamy tried to wear it on her head, like, how big is this thing? That's my question.
It is larger than the span of your shoulders. Like, it would fall.
What about, like, a really, like, chic necklace?
You would trip on it, but you could certainly try to make that work.
I'm going to try, because it might be useful for Stellan later.
I'm not telling her to do this. You all see that, right? Like, you all know that I didn't say
absolutely.
that? Good.
Mhm.
It is if
It
the
might be
winners of the
helpful.
Kentucky Derby and Easter Sunday hats had a child, and that is the width of this thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she's gonna try to wear it. Do I have to roll to wear it?
No, you don't have to roll to wear it. You all will just move quite slowly to keep up with Bellamy.
Oh, if it's gonna slow us down, I'll take it off.
I was gonna offer summoning something to carry it, but if you want to do that, dear.
What would
I-
you like in exchange?
Don't try to make deals with my wife.
No.
Then I won't offer.
Like I said, H5, I don't even know if it has magical applications. I would need to figure out a way to synthesize an analysis of the material that it is.
Oh wait, would Bellamy know if this thing has magical properties?
It is certainly magical. It is.
Can
It
it help
is-
us?
It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. It is a very you have essentially taken the core piece of a very powerful magical creature and yanked it out of its skull. So all of the magical essence of that creature is wrapped up into this. Above table, this probably has something to do with how it is able to consume light.
Alistair, could you freely summon the Legion now? Or is this like a just in the pale kind of thing?
Freely summon, freely's doing a lot of work in that sentence.
Well, you're in charge now, no?
Alistair looks panicked when you say that. Sure, maybe yes.
Okay, no. First, if you're going to lead demons, you are in charge, and they need to understand that.
You need to be in charge. They're
You
gonna
need to
walk
be in
all over you.
charge. Your confidence could use some work, but for now, why don't we try just like a little one to carry this thing?
You want me to let
I want
one
you
or
to command a couple demons to carry this for you.
Which ones are more likely to listen? Or which ones are you most tired of and need out of you?
I don't know, there's a lot of them. But yes, I can do this. And
Breathe.
Okay. And Alistair's gonna try. They are going to say, Legion, I need 2 of you here to carry this precious artifact for me.
Roll me interaction. There's no CR. This is just to see how well it goes.
Use. That was a 9 on the dice.
Amazing. You all watch as Alistair, it's almost like like part of your shadow peels off. Now that there's light again, part of your shadow peels off into 1 and then 2 of these different demons. They're both gnarled and lanky, but they seem capable. They seem physically capable creatures. As they appear and they look at each other and they look at you and they look at the halo and walk over to the halo and grab it and pick it up, and it still drags on the ground, but they are able to keep pace with all of you and carry this thing alongside. No problem. No questions, no comments, no concerns. You hear Extar clapping quietly in the back of your brain at the success. Extar admits, perhaps you listened to Stellan a bit more. That seemed to go pretty well.
Sometimes they have wise words.
And you now are able to carry this giant halo with all of you, with the help of 2 of Alistair's demons.
All right.
Thank you, demons.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you like snacks, I'll bake you some cookies when we get back.
There's
They
no
eat?
response from the demons.
Off we go then. We have a meeting.
Ooh.
How did you get a meeting scheduled in the Pale? Did you make a deal with somebody in the Pale?
No, of course not. Not yet.
Not yet!
first thing you need to learn: when opportunity knocks, you answer.
Hmm.
You know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. We're off to a meeting, apparently.
It might lead us to your sibling.
You know what? All for the meeting now. Let's go.
You all start walking northeast from where you are. You are heading, you're following Stellan, and it looks like Stellan is walking into the middle of nowhere. There is nothing on the horizon that indicates that there's a point of reference that Stellan is using. Stellan, you are still following, I assume, that pull in your bones, and letting it kind of guide you as you all walk. Time passes. The sun in the sky does not move. There are no other creatures that seem to show of any interest in any of you. I forgot to read the card earlier, but we are on a new scene now, so I do need to read the next Soothe deck card. So the card that I have drawn is the Whispering Lover. It's the last card alphabetically in the Soothe deck. Value 1, Visions, Swans, Blades, Water. Meanings: love, romance, partnership, loved ones, relationships. Love represents the strongest of bonds: romance, family, and deep friendship. The intimacy inherent in the whispers of a lover is rare and valuable. We seek love, and once we have it, we fight to keep it. The whispering lover represents those people in our lives that are most important to us. It doesn't have to suggest romance. There are many kinds of positive relationships one can have in their life. Gray magic is enhanced, indigo magic is diminished, and empaths receive a +1 to all ventures.
This card is for me.
We are walking along, and it is quiet and peaceful, which is a weird thing considering how the Pale has been treating all of you since you got here. Peace and quiet is not something that you have gotten out of the experiences in the Pale thus far. But again, nothing seems to be harrying you. There's nothing pursuing you. There are no other creatures in sight, as a matter of fact. You don't see anything else out here except for the 4 of you and Carter and the 2 demons dragging along this halo. Carter is quiet, does not seem interested in talking, seems pretty reserved, pretty exhausted from the entire adventure. Carter has been here for several days now, trying to stay alive, and so is quite ready for a nap himself. Is anybody doing any talking, any discussing as you are marching along? Stellan, I'm particularly curious if you are giving any insight to the rest as to where they are headed.
Only if they ask.
So where are we going, Stellan?
To see the Empress.
What? Why?
Who did you think the meeting was going to be with?
I don't know. It's like there's a bunch of dead people here. It could have been with any of them.
Have you seen a single corpse since we arrived, a ghost?
Well, they're here somewhere.
Yeah. With her, probably.
I hate when you make sense.
You get to be Queen of the Damned. You don't let all the souls just walk around willy-nilly. You let your monsters play.
Yeah, but wouldn't it make more sense to have the souls run away and then have the monsters chase them for, like, enrichment?
Well, then you'd be out of souls.
I think the souls regenerate, no?
Hard to say. I don't know for sure.
I'm just saying, if I was the Queen of the Damned and I wanted a bunch of monsters and I had a bunch of souls, I would just make the souls regenerate every time one of my monsters killed them, so that way they have endless toys. That sounds really mean now that I say it out loud.
Souls are bargaining chips more than they are active entertainment, we'll say. They are tools that we use to impose our will upon reality in the same sense that I would be able to if I had a loose dead soul.
Besides, enrichment can be achieved by full-hearted adventurers that come into the Pale for reasons that are a bit chaotic, makes no sense, or just because they want to, which is what has been happening to us, I think.
That's a really good point.
What are we planning on doing once we get to the Empress, Ellen?
I imagine there will be some negotiations regarding Bellamy's sibling. She's taken a particularly keen interest in our Bellamy, so she wants something, and that means that we have leverage, doesn't it?
Am I the leverage?
It's not me. Don't worry, I told her that you weren't hers.
Whose am I, Stellan?
You're yours. It's
Oh.
very explicitly stated in our contract. You only work for me.
Okay, just checking.
I have exactly one plan involved in trading in souls, and it doesn't involve you.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm quite curious, but perhaps I shouldn't.
I'm very curious. When I say I don't want to know, I'm lying. I do want to know, but I also don't know if I want to know right now.
It's not liable to come to pass, so it doesn't matter.
Wait, Carter? Is it Carter's soul?
No, of course not.
Is that why he didn't get weekends?
Do you think that I didn't give Carter weekends because I own his soul?
Yes!
I don't.
It was a question.
Carter didn't get weekends because I can keep a better eye on him that way. You saw what happened.
The only reason that happened is because you don't understand what a weekend is. Actually, I think it's reason for Carter to have more weekends, because if you knew what a weekend
been
was.
Stints where I never called upon Carter for anything and he still got paid. I'm not a monster.
I'm just checking.
I check up on him more frequently, I suppose, now that he can have weekends.
Just like send like a letter like, hey, are you in the pale? Check
He
yes
lives,
or no.
Around the block. I'll just go knock on his door.
Or you could do that. I thought he might want privacy.
He can turn me away.
Can he?
Yes.
Oh. I
You
didn't
have
think
to
he could.
invite me into his home.
Well, you did walk in and go, I own it.
It's my house, sure, but that was really a show of force for you.
Why did you do that? I thought you were a dick.
I am. I've been very clear about that.
I'm a dick, but I have manners.
Yes, that exactly correct.
You're so confusing sometimes.
Propriety matters more to me than anything.
I think interacting with Stellan, the more you interact, the more things make sense. And so this conversation, it makes a lot of sense. I may not agree somewhat, but it makes sense.
And I do think Stellan is the best person we have for the upcoming negotiations.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not saying Stellan shouldn't be doing the negotiations or anything. I just honestly thought that Stellan... Did nobody else think that Stellan owns Carter's soul?
Oh, I wondered that too.
Okay, see?
It wasn't
I
just
don't own his soul.
I actually did, and I just thought that he had very, very, very strict working terms, which could be akin to owning someone's soul, but not exactly.
Capitalism owns us all.
Like that. I think while they're talking, Isra, in the folds of her dress, because of course her dress has pockets, she feels for the stained glass shard and just kind of rubs on it to kind of give her a little bit of comfort. She knows that Eliseo can't reach her here, but there's like a weird hope that maybe she could feel like a small pressure of my obsessive girlfriend is watching over me right now. I miss you. I miss my wife.
Roll me a sortilege roll. There's no CR to this.
Ooh,
So you can
okay.
spend a bene if you want to increase it by 1.
Nah, let's see what the vibes are like. That is a 6.
Um, it feels like the echo of a hand pressed against glass. How you can still feel the warmth there after somebody has pulled their hand away. You can still feel the warmth. You can still feel kind of the smudge from the oils on their hands. You feel that a little bit on the shard of stained glass that you have.
Does the pressure, if I remember correctly, when Eliseo gave this to Isra, it's because it's a piece of Eliseo that, what's the best way to put it? It's a piece of Eliseo that Eliseo doesn't like to use often.
Mhm.
So a variation of them. Does it feel like that presence, that variation, or does it feel more like Eliseo?
It feels
As
like
even
Eliseo.
worse?
It
Okay.
feels like Eliseo whenever it feels there's a warmth to this magic that you wouldn't expect from this variation that Eliseo does not like to take on, from this persona that they have that they don't like to take on. But it there's a warmth to this that it recalls more Eliseo, the Eliseo that you know more than anything else.
Okay. Hmm.
You all are walking, and eventually there is something on the horizon. There seems to be sort of a blip on the radar. Um, as you get closer, you see a massive structure. And the closer that you get, the more that you realize that it is made of bones. And it seems to be made of screaming faces. It seems to be made of bodies. This is the Empress's home. This is not a place that anybody really gets to see unless they are invited or unless they are being dragged there against their will. It is meant to impose, and it is an imposing structure indeed. You are close enough that you can start to make out that there are faces on the walls and in the structure, in the columns, in the what makes up the structure itself, but far enough away that it doesn't seem like there's anything that's being disturbed by your presence. Nothing is moving. You don't see anybody. You don't hear anybody. What do you do?
Steel your hearts. Fear shown is a weakness lost.
Bellamy's gonna look for her sibling's face in the screaming faces of the building.
Roll me a d10. Just roll a d10.
Oh, that's concerning. That was a 4.
It looks for a moment like you recognize somebody, but then you look again and it's not quite the same features. And then you catch somebody else who looks like it could be familiar. There are certainly faces that all of you can sort of see. I think I know this person, but they seem to be so contorted in anguish and in horror and fear that it's hard to say exactly this is the person that I know. You don't think that you see your sibling's face on these walls.
Well, I guess we go in.
How do you approach? Do you walk up to a front door? Are you waiting to be summoned? Stellan, you're not hearing anything from that connection that you've established.
Um, if there's like a gate, a front area, Stellan will knock on that.
It seems like a pretty traditional stronghold. There's a gate. There's a sort of a door beyond, or an entryway beyond that gate. Um, you go and you knock, and you don't knock particularly loudly. And so it's almost surprising that somebody answers. You hear, all of you hear, "Oh, look, my guests have arrived." And then you hear a second voice say, "Is it dinner?" And that is where we are going to go to break for right now.
Of course it is.
So we're going to take a quick break. Stretch your legs. We'll take about 10 minutes. Stretch your legs, drink some water, take some meds if you need to, eat a food, pet a pet, all of the fun things. Drink some Dr. Pepper, absolutely. And we will see you all back here very shortly. and welcome back, everybody. So, last we left off, you all heard my guests have arrived and a second voice, one that you have not heard, Stellan. This is new to all of you. A second voice say, "Is it dinner?" Do you all do or say anything?
I look at Stellan. That is all I do.
Sorry for the delay. It was quite a walk.
The gates slowly creak open. There's no other verbal response to anything that you say. Do you all head inside?
Stone first.
Stellan takes point.
Do you bring the halo with you?
Unless Stellan indicates to do otherwise, absolutely.
That's my prize.
Okay. You. I just want to be clear. You killed this person's plaything, and now you're bringing part of its decaying body back into her home.
If there's one
Power
thing
move.
Stellan knows how
Power
to
move.
do, it's send a message.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So as long as we're all
Great.
clear.
Bellamy's about to die because of that.
I already told her that I killed her dog.
You all head inside. As you are walking inside, the floors are marble and they are scratched and worn and aged, and the halo scratches and drags along the marble floors very loudly. You all come into this very large foyer type space, columns lining either side. Ooh, sorry, hit my mic. Columns lining either side. You are slowly walking along these marble floors. The hallway in front of you seems to stretch endlessly. It goes on and on and on, and each column is made up of the same horrified, terrified faces that you saw outside. Bones stacked on top of skulls, stacked on top of bodies. This entire structure seems to be made from the bodies of the living, or the once living, I should say. The closer that you get to these columns, you notice that one of these faces blinks, and it occurs to you that what is existing inside the structure seems to still be somewhat alive in one form or fashion, unable to move, trapped in whatever pose they are in. You keep walking, and you keep walking, and you keep walking, and nothing is there to greet you. The hallway does not seem to be getting any closer to ending. Are you doing anything?
Are there any doors along the hall?
No doors. There are windows, sort of every, I would say, 10 feet or so, maybe. There are windows that overlook the outside out into the pale itself. But you don't see any doors. In the distance, you see maybe it looks like some sort of like maybe a stairwell or something, but it doesn't seem to be getting any closer.
I should install one of these in my home.
You're taking interior design tips from the person that wants to kill us?
Do you have any idea how incredible an infinite hallway would be? It's really setting a tone. You have to appreciate that.
I mean, yeah, but it's also a pain to walk through. How would you get to your bed?
Well, it probably isn't infinite for her.
I hate when you make a point.
It's a security measure, I would assume, because she's either preparing something or waiting for us to call to her, or...
Or grandstanding.
Hey, you got a grandstand to the people who have your bargaining chip. Why do you think I'm letting them drag that thing across the marble floor? I don't like damaging somebody's home, but if we're going to have the infinite hallway to scratch up, we may as well.
I think Issa's just looking out the window every time we walk past one, just taking in the disturbing, maddening, and yet oddly beautiful view.
You continue walking, and in this game of sort of chicken to see who outlasts the other, eventually it seems like you all have won, because you hear in the hallway around all of you, "I'm impressed by your patience to continue this."
Patience is a virtue, one of the first ones I learned.
Well, I suppose we shouldn't be putting this off any longer then, shall we? And suddenly that stairwell that seemed so distant and was sort of just a possibility in the distance is right in front of you. And you're able to go up or continue on around it. Do you head up the stairs?
I think we are wanted upstairs.
Stairs.
You start to go up these stairs. They get narrower and it becomes more difficult for the demons to carry the halo behind the two of you. The four of you. The two demons are sort of starting to balance it between them. They're trying to find different angles. Alistair, you will notice that they are not stopping. They are not putting it down. There's no hesitation, no sort of pushback. They're trying to make this work, but it is becoming increasingly difficult. And whether the stairs were originally designed for this or not, you're not sure. But for some reason, it seems like the halo is not meant to go any further. Do you continue to try to press on with it?
Alistair looks to Stellan and asks them, how important is it that we bring this with us?
I'm going to have you have them stay with it for two reasons. One, I would prefer not to leave my prize unattended. It is still a piece of leverage we would not otherwise have. And two, if you can spare 2 lives, I think the other demons will see that and fall in line pretty quickly.
Alistair does not look happy about this, but looks to the two demons and says, stay with it on the ground floor. Protected at any cost.
They will slowly start to step back, head back down the stairs with it. Becomes easier for them to manage the wider that the stairs are. And they head back down. While the rest of you continue upward. Stellan, I know that you're first. What is the marching order for everybody else?
I'm imagining Alistair was probably at the end. So I would imagine that Isra and Bellamy are between them and Stellan.
I was gonna say, I feel like Bellamy's gonna be in between Alistair and Isra. No offense to Stellan, but if Stellan's in front, she wants to be far away, but not at the very end from the Empress.
You all continue on. Carter is, I would say Carter is probably second, is probably just after Stellan in all of this. You all continue on. The stairs continue to narrow until you're single file, which is why I ask marching order. They continue to get closer and closer until your shoulders are almost touching on either side the stairwell. It seems that these are designed to make you uncomfortable, and it seems to be working a little bit. It is not easy to walk through. You are, if you look down, you are stepping on faces and bodies as you are walking up these stairs. Eventually, you get to what seems to be a much more open landing. The space opens up, and on the far end, you see a chair. And sitting upon the chair is a woman with long purple hair, pale purple hair, very pale skin, very gaunt. She's wearing a golden corset style top and a long flowing dress. She looks every bit what you would guess an Empress of the Pale looks like. Empress Jalad is a very lithe woman, but by no means is the lack of her stature and the lack of her taking up space any lack of presence when you are around her. You can feel her from across the room that she is there and she is watching. And right now she is smiling as you all enter. And then to the left, you see a second figure that we as players have seen once before, but that none of you, I don't believe, have ever seen. This is a very pale figure. She's got a iron crown that sits atop her head, all points and jagged, that bleeds into or causes her to bleed from the crown of her head. Her wrists and hands are wrapped in chains, in a very long chain that she keeps that trails behind her. And she's wearing a uh, long white dress. This is the enemy of choice. We've only seen her once before. We have seen her in an interaction with the Empress in one of the intros, but that is it. She does not seem to be smiling, and her eyes are locked on you, Alistair, whenever you walk into the room. And she does not look away. Once the others have passed, she continues to watch where you walk. You all approach, or do you keep your distance? What do you do? There's enough space that you could yell from the other side of this throne room if you wanted to and not approach at all.
Stellan will meet her smile with a smile of their own and will approach.
I'm surprised. You don't seem very afraid.
I was actually taking notes in the hall.
Oh,
Yes, your sense for design to disorient your opponents is very fitting for the sort of work that I do.
I would feel much more complimented were it not coming from a mere mortal, but I appreciate it all the same.
Mortal though I may be, I will have you know I am not mere.
So you say. I see you've brought me what I've asked, and we'll glance over at Bellamy.
I brought you a conversation as promised. As I stated previously, she is not yours.
Well, what conversation would you have then? And please, I haven't yet introduced my companion. And looks over to the enemy of choice, and the enemy of choice simply smiles shortly before it falls again, and her face goes flat, and she nods once. You don't need to know my name. I'm not really interested in any of you except for the one who hosts the Legion.
Also not up for the taking, I'm afraid.
I didn't ask.
Who would? Stellan Faust, at your service. These are my compatriots and employees. You have a particular piece of mortality we're interested in. Similar name, I think you'll find. I would imagine she's crammed in here somewhere.
The Empress sighs and sort of taps her nails along the armchair, the chair of her arm that she's sitting in on the throne. And then opens her hand and kind of gestures broadly next to her, and a figure appears. Nox, would you describe what your sibling Bellamy looks like?
Bellamy has like their hair is buzzed on one side, but then very floppy and curly on the other side. Their eyes are like a very dark brown, and they have like a scar on their eyebrow, and they're plus size like their sister. But the two don't look related. Like they don't look alike whatsoever, except for like just the way that they kind of carry themselves is very similar.
This version of Bellamy looks a bit hollowed out, a bit tired, a bit older, a bit haggard. And you can see that they're observing and they're seeing, but their expression is very carefully neutral. Bellamy, you would recognize that this is this is intentional on their part. They're trying very hard to not show any expression when they see you. Their eyes do show a glint of recognition whenever they glance at you, but they don't say or do anything else. And the Empress...
Bellamy's going to try to do the same thing, like keep a blank face.
The Empress gestures to the Bellamy at their side and says, I suppose this is who you're speaking of?
The very same.
And what would you have me do, exactly?
Well, fingers crossed there's an agreement we come to where they're allowed to leave with her.
What could you possibly offer me that would make me of interest in this?
The same thing I can offer any being as great as yourself, my services in the mortal realm.
I have no interest with mortality. The dead are my keeping.
You surely would like to have more of those.
Mortals die all the time.
Yes, but not interesting ones.
And you consider yourself interesting.
I'm not offering you my life. Though if you would have me in death, I would greatly trade that.
You are, and the Empress stops and looks almost amused, almost entertained at all of this. You're very wise with your words, Stellan Faust. That much I can see. But you're not the only person here. And the Empress glances at Bellamy, the Bellamy on your side, and says, what would you have me do exactly? After you've stolen this name, pretended to be this person, pretended to take what's mine.
To be fair, I don't think I did anything wrong.
You wouldn't. Is it as Stellan says, you would simply like to leave with this sibling of yours?
Yes, please.
I do not take lightly to people trying to take my things, and the dead belong to me. What makes you think you have any right?
They weren't meant to be dead.
Oh? What makes you say that?
Because it was supposed to be me.
So
I
would you
didn't take their
place?
name out of malice.
Why did you take their name then?
Safety. But also they had been with me and a part of me for so long. I don't think I was able to know who I am without them.
So because you feel lost, you think I should give up what's rightfully mine?
I don't feel lost anymore. I just don't think it was right that they're here. It has nothing to do with you. You did nothing to me. But they're not supposed to be here.
The Empress opens her mouth to speak, and the enemy of choice cuts in. This is all very invigorating and tugging on the heartstrings and all of that, but am I to truly understand that you think simply because their death was unfair, you think they deserve more time?
Yes.
You're a simple creature. I can respect that.
Thank you.
The whole time that the enemy of choice is speaking, continues to look at Alistair. Are Alistair and Isra, are you two doing anything while these conversations are happening?
I think not. I don't really think so. I think the only thing Easter's doing is just in the pocket, just the grip is a bit tighter. Not so much that blood is drawn, but I think it's getting to that point while she is trying to remain calm and a comforting presence for everyone else.
Alistair, what about you?
Alistair isn't doing anything specific. They have taken Stellan's words to heart to as much as they can not show any fear. So they're not averting their eyes from these incredibly powerful beings in the room, but they are also trying to keep focused more on their companions. And they are also trying not to think too much about the fact that walking in here, they had not expected to be one who was drawing interest. And they are both thinking about that and the fact that they also know, despite Axtar's words and despite Stellan's encouragement of them, they have made a dangerous choice in letting the Legion back into their body. And they're not sure when that price may come due.
Isra, are you holding on to that shard of stained glass in your pocket?
Mhm.
You shift your grip on that. And it's interesting, Alistair. You notice that the enemy of choice glances at Isra. You don't know that it's timed with that. We as players do. When your grip shifts a little bit, the enemy of choice glances over at Isra before going back to Alistair. And in that brief moment, anybody who's watching the enemy of choice, roll me interaction. We're going to call this a CR8.
Since the Empress started addressing Bellamy, Stellan's shifted their focus. Oh, baby. That's a 9.
You said interaction?
Yes.
An 8 exactly.
That's a 5.
Isra and Stellan, in that brief moment where the enemy of choice glances over at Isra, it almost looks like panic. It's very short.
I do have a quick clarifying question.
Okay.
Isra has met an enemy before, like when doing that walk with Eliseo. Does she know which one it was?
You have met the enemy of choice before.
Yeah,
You
okay.
have
I'm
seen this
like,
person. I forgot about that. Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm just like, wait a minute.
Yes, you have seen the enemy of choice before, and the enemy of choice has seen you before, has interacted. Not seen you, but interacted and known of your presence before. I completely blanked on that. I'm so glad you brought this up. This changes a little bit. Um, there is still that brief moment of panic that you see on the enemy of choice's face, in her eyes, before she composes herself and looks back at Alistair.
Stellan's smile was a smile for propriety, but it is more genuine now.
You seem entertained. This is the Empress speaking to you, Stellan.
A lot of cards on the table today. I can't help but feel a little bit exhilarated by the fact.
There are certainly many moves to be made here. We've been very focused on what I want out of this, and as the enemy of choice has inclined, it's not particular interest to them, this whole situation between your Bellamy and my own. And we'll glance to the enemy of choice, and looking at Alistair, the enemy of choice says, "You host the Legion."
Yes.
Unwillingly.
No. Willingly, in fact.
How honest is that when Alistair says that?
I would say it is about, we'll say 75% honest.
Okay.
They obviously made this choice in a moment of duress, but it is different than what happened initially with the Legion coming to them. This time, they voluntarily allowed this to happen.
The enemy of choice smiles at that. I'm impressed. You seem to have grown since the last time I heard of you.
Oh, you've heard of me?
Your reputation precedes you.
I didn't know I had one.
I am here, and I will not speak in riddles the way the Empress insists upon. Because the Legion has something of mine. A demon of the dark. A demon that has plans to overtake me, and that I would like to see removed from power. That demon has taken control, it seems, of the Legion inside you before. And so in order to remove them from power, I need to remove you from power.
And if I'm not in favor of that?
Well, I'm not exactly asking. I'm more of the kind to simply take what I want. That is how demons become enemies in the first place.
And Alistair pauses for a moment and cocks their head slightly to the side. Then why haven't you just done it? If it's that simple and if you take whatever actions you need to when you need to take them, why haven't you?
There are two ways that this could go, and I'm going to draw a card for it from the Soothe deck. How interesting. Please hold. So I drew the Ambassador. Diplomacy, reason, discussion, and intelligence. She hails from a far-off land, carrying a message of unity and civility. The ambassador wishes to talk, not to fight. She knows that words and wisdom offer a path to success that violence never could. Her words are careful and measured, never rash or ill-considered. If there were more such individuals to make the world a better place. The ambassador is the adept of the Visions family. Her magic and skill come from her ability to persuade, which again brings us to the idea that words are as magical as any spell or ritual, just another type of incantation. This is not what I was planning on doing, me Kian as the GM, so I love that I pulled this card. The enemy of choice just says, your friend came here under the impression that a conversation would be had, and I am trying to honor that as I am not in my own home. I'm trying to be respectful of that. There are other, and glances over at Isra once again, trying to control that expression. There are other factors at play as well. But I do believe that we've extended our conversation. The enemy of choice continues talking. I do believe that we have extended our conversation about as far as it can go. I want what I want. The Empress wants what she wants. And it looks like neither side is willing to compromise. So what do we do now?
Is there a world, a time, a place where this compromise can occur between parties in your eyes?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can take this Bellamy, gestures to the Bellamy that is next to the Empress. You can take this Bellamy and do what you will. That's no business of mine. The Empress looks displeased at this, but doesn't say anything.
You would defy an empress in her own castle.
I would not do that. I would encourage you to. My encouragement doesn't mean much here, so.
Do forgive my impropriety here in asking you this, but I can tell that you do not care much for the song and dance of negotiation as the Empress does, but what exactly about these other factors at play have you so scared?
There is a sharp jerk of her hands, those chains in her hands, and the chain drags a little bit on the ground. And she says, I never said I was afraid.
You didn't have to.
And so what would incline you to believe that?
I have my methods, just as you have yours. I know how to get what I want.
Tell me, do you know what your friend here is traveling with? And we'll gesture at Isra.
I do. I met them on several occasions.
And the fact that you are not afraid tells me you have no idea exactly what they are.
I'm not afraid of much, I think you'll find.
A foolish response.
Maybe for someone who should be afraid of dying, but I am not.
Well, you can take that particular statement up with the Empress. That's of no interest to me, whether or not you're afraid of dying. Your companion here travels with something that could, frankly, do a great deal of harm to me.
Then a deal can be struck.
I would say yes, except it doesn't seem like that companion is here right now.
A companion being here right now does not mean that I cannot guarantee your safety from this creature.
You don't know what that companion is. You couldn't guarantee my safety even if you did.
then perhaps enlighten us.
The enemy of choice looks at the Empress, and the Empress kind of cocks an eyebrow. And anybody who's watching, you can tell that the Empress is a little curious about this conversation as well. This is taking a turn that she did not anticipate. Um, and the enemy of choice nods and says, "The stained glass angel is a particularly powerful entity that your companion here travels with and has traveled with before, and for reasons unknown to me, cannot come into the Pale, for which I am grateful. Makes this a bit of a neutral ground. They are one of the only creatures that can combat an enemy of the dark, an enemy demon of the dark. Someone like myself. It makes them particularly useful to others, particularly problematic and difficult for someone like me. As this is happening, Alistair, you start to hear the Legion shifting a little bit and starting to move about. And Extar comes forward just to you quietly and says, "Did you know about the stained glass angel?"
Out of character, did Alistair? Because I can't remember if they were ever present during these conversations.
They saw the wings behind Bellamy in that one moment.
Yeah, they did see the wings behind Bellamy. They I'm trying to remember if the term stained glass angel was ever said to Alistair. And
I don't think it has.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
So, yes, in which case, Alistair shakes their head the slightest bit, even though they're talking internally to Extar, and says, "No, I saw stained glass wings behind Bellamy one time, but never heard those words.
Hmm.
Why?"
Well, because the enemy of choice is telling the truth. That is a very dangerous entity to demons of the dark in particular. Stained glass angel is very powerful.
Is that a good thing, a bad thing, a neutral thing?
For now, I'm just glad that the stained glass angel is on your side and not on theirs.
Then I'll count that as a good thing.
Stella can't bargain with you for your safety, but I think I can.
You think you have that kind of power?
I'm the bride of the stained glass angel. Of course I do.
The enemy of choice can't stop the sort of stunned look when you say that. She looks genuinely surprised.
It's nice to meet you officially. I was startled the first time, but I don't feel much reason to be quite scared of you. I've already seen nightmares in your realm. I think this is a bit more calming.
Call yourself the bride of the stained glass angel. You have willingly glances over at Stellan. You have walked in here with a bargaining chip like that.
I told you there were a lot of cards on the table.
So you would like to walk out of here with your Bellamy, with her Bellamy, and with the Legion, all untouched.
Indeed.
And what would we gain in return?
Well, I can offer you two things in particular. The first being that halo downstairs that I brought. Sorry about your floors, by the way. I will fix them on the way out, assuming the hallway isn't infinitely damaged. Uh, I can also, upon my death, offer you my services, however you should see fit to them. I'd prefer not to be a part of your walls, but if that is what you prefer, then I see no reason why my death can't further soundly structure your uncomfortable torture castle. And
The
Miss Demott, if I may negotiate on your behalf, we are also willing to talk to the Stained Glass Angel about leaving the enemy of choice alone indefinitely.
Hmm. Well, I don't think there's much quite need to really discuss with them because I can offer this guarantee and we'll use the whisper for this. Uh, her voice has always been soft, always gentle. But in that moment, there is a sternness that people don't hear much often from Isra. And you see a visage of a pale form, and the only thing of note is just a mouth. It is a curled smile that is sinister, but then also kind. And she just says, "You have the guarantee of your safety because you let me and my others leave. Because know this to be true. The stained glass angel doesn't like me being sad and will do anything that is necessary to make sure that I'm very, very happy." And I think she'll actually take out the stained glass still in her hand, squeezing a little bit tighter, and you could start seeing like the ring of red, almost like the skin is gonna puncture soon. "Do not play with my kindness, for she is my rage."
Muted.
Muted.
Thank you. The way that the whisper works, the enemy of choice knows this to be true. There is no second guessing, there is no doubting, there is no bargaining here. The enemy of choice stands a bit straighter, takes a step back, looks to the Empress and says, "The rest I leave to you. I don't need the Legion if I can guarantee my safety. I'll get Duasis another way." And the Empress looks quite surprised by this turn of events. This was a bit, this was not quite an ally, but at least some kind of a companion in this that she had. And all of a sudden, you have neutralized that playing field very quickly, very easily. You've neutralized that piece. I'm not quite sure what exactly you've done to make her change her mind. This is the Empress speaking. I'm not quite sure what exactly you've done to make her change her mind. But I will not abandon my endeavors quite so easily. You will not be taking this one with you, and gestures to the Bellamy at her side. They stay with me.
Why?
Because the dead belong to me, child.
I can get you another one.
But this is the one that you want so dearly. It's much more satisfying to me to keep this one.
Oh god. Oh god. That's a bad idea. I should do it. Okay. So Bellamy's gonna look at her sibling. The sibling would know Bellamy is like here and about to explode. Is there any indication that that's a bad idea and Bellamy shouldn't do that?
I think there is a sense of anxiety around what is about to happen, but there's a bit of pride of, look, this is my sibling who refused to be quiet about this. It truly, there's not really a like, don't do this, but there's not going to be much encouragement either.
She's gonna look at Stellan and go, do I still have to be civil?
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
This is the one you had to be civil for. That one doesn't care about propriety. This one does.
Well, this one's pissing me off.
Is there any possibility of visitation at least?
No, I'm not making weekend trips down to this hellhole. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, that you have a stick so far up your ass I can see it through your mouth. You care so much about one fucking soul. You have an entire goddamn kingdom. And you're doing this out of spite. What kind of fucking ruler is so insecure about themselves that they do this shit out of spite?
He's just gonna just hold Alistair and just take like 2 steps back just in case.
And as she's doing this, you can see like Bellamy's like actually like her hair is like starting to smoke, like she's about to actually explode.
I think Alistair does lean into Isra and just asks, shouldn't we maybe do something?
I just did like a really good like big thing, so I'm not sure what to do right now. Should I summon a council? Can I summon a council for this? Would you like me to summon a council? Maybe a more mediary person, like being? Would that help in this cooler heads?
Is there a demonic mediator?
I could do that. What would they want though? Oh my goodness. I think Easter's gonna take a moment to pause and think, what would a demonic counselor want in exchange for this level of shenanigans? Like,
The Empress, her smile is growing as though you are a mouse caught in a trap. This outburst is satisfying to her in some way, But at the same time, she is slowly gripping the armchair tighter and tighter, the arm of her throne tighter and tighter. Her knuckles are turning white. Part of her is very angry at what Bellamy is saying.
Stellan will reach a hand out to Bellamy's shoulder. I will take their place. You will take Bellamy and let them go, both. Allow me to send all 4 of them home. 5. Carter's here. I will
Don't-
stay.
You would trade your life for this one.
I see no other negotiating chip that I have. You seem dead set on spiting my employee.
And this employee is that important to you.
What's important to me is not anyone's concern but my own.
What is Bellamy's expression when Stellan offers to trade places?
Kind of like touched and confused for a second, and then she's pissed again. Because the Empress is interested in this. That's bullshit. That's such bullshit. Like, touched and like, oh, Stellan's not that much of a dick as I thought they were. But also, and like, that's the closest I feel like Stellan will ever get to caring, like, openly about me. But also kind of like pissed off. Like, that's what I offered the same thing, just not them.
The Empress sort of assesses you, Stellan, looks over at Bellamy to see Bellamy's expression of this. I think that can be arranged.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bellamy.
No, wait a second. Sorry, Stellan, I know you and your deals. Are you fucking kidding me, you spiteful ass bitch?
Bellamy.
Give me a second, Stellan! I offered you, there is someone back in Not the Pale that actually deserves to be dead. I will express ship that motherfucker down here the second I get back. This is bullshit. Wanting Stellan. No offense, Stellan.
Not taken. It's business.
Are you done with your outburst?
Probably not. Probably not. But I'm sure whatever you say next will start the next one. So, Your Majesty.
Stellan,
Your Majesty.
if this is truly the deal you would like to make, then I can be amenable to that.
All I ask is for some time to confer with my compatriots and time to send them home.
I'm
I'm the only one who knows the spell.
I think that's agreeable enough.
Also, they get to keep the halo. I killed it, and I want it to be... I hope they'll mount it on my wall, but they can do whatever they want with it after I'm, here.
The Empress sort of lifts her hand and waves it very sort of gracefully out in front of the rest of you. And there's space again, sort of in that endless hallway way. Space between you and the rest of the throne, and an attempt to give you privacy, as though she does not hear exactly what you were saying and what is going to happen next, but she is trying to at least make a show of giving you privacy.
I can summon council to find another way.
There's not another way. She wants to hurt Bellamy, and whatever option is going to hurt her the most is going to be what she chooses. You can't negotiate with someone whose only goal is pain.
I can give her pain.
We are not going to fight the Empress of the Pale. That is not a fight any of us can win.
Let me try.
No, because then I'll have to save your life too, and I would really, really prefer not to have to.
Hear me out. She wants a dead person. Right?
So you want her to
She-
kill you?
She doesn't just want a dead person, Bellamy. She wants a dead person that you don't want to be dead.
I don't want anybody to be dead.
You seem to talk about that one person you plan to kill to give to her in a way that suggested you maybe did want them dead.
I mean, I don't want to kill somebody. I'll do it. I don't want to.
Miss Namat, we do not have any formal deals. You're the only one I don't have to absolve of a contract here. However, I would have you attempt with Eliseo a way to retrieve my soul should some need ever arise. I would understand if that is not in your motivation to do so. I haven't been kind to any of you. But they'll be the ones to know how to do it, even if they can't come get me themselves. And I am happy to owe you, at the very least, Miss Namat.
I cannot guarantee I can convince them. You said that you haven't been kind to all of us, and I would like to disagree. I think you were stern, especially, well, with our dealings. But I appreciate that in your own way you had concern. Loving an entity like Eliseo comes with its problems. And there were some times when there was naivete in that. And with speaking with you, I believe I have a bit more of a firmer understanding on the responsibilities of that. So I can try.
I appreciate it.
Bellamy's gonna look at Stellan and then turn around and start walking down that infinite hall. And she's just yelling at the top of her lungs.
Oh dear.
Listen here, you pale purple fuck. Out of all of the people here, all the people whose souls you could take, that one pisses me off all the time. It'll be a relief to not have to deal with Stellan's bullshit all the time. You know, they wouldn't even give Carter weekends. They wouldn't even give Carter weekends, okay? They don't care about people outside of their fucking deals. Go ahead, take them, make them your puppet. Fuck them. They're so goddamn annoying. It's just gonna lay into every single complaint she has ever had about Stellan in the hopes that it will make the Empress not want Stellan.
Roll me an interact roll. There's no CR. This is just to see how it goes.
Can I use my interact Bene?
Yeah, you can use a Bene to add +1 to it.
Come on, I need it. That's an 8!
8 total, 8 on the die.
8 on the die.
Nice. It's for a 9 total. I'm gonna draw another card for this to see how the Empress responds. Because I am not sure how I want the Empress to respond here. I've drawn the Eternal Mountain. The mountain stands
Fuck.
alone and unchanging. It always has and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. The Eternal Mountain is the location card of the Visions family. You are walking down this endless hallway, yelling, and the hallway doesn't seem as endless this time. As you start to re-engage, the Empress does her magic to make sure that you are able to move forward again if you would like. You are yelling about everything that frustrates you about Stellan in the hopes that it will make her change her mind. And the Empress simply smiles and she lifts her hand in the direction of Bellamy, the Bellamy that's at her side, and says, "It matters not to me how you feel about this one. If this is the one that you want to save, then a soul must be exchanged for it. And you have, luckily enough, a volunteer willing to do so. Why not take advantage of that?"
Because I told you I'd get you one.
I think that your friends have explained it enough.
So you do care. So you're a liar.
I think it also just comes with the understanding that death always comes to her eventually. This is someone that you're trying to undo the death of, which is something that doesn't happen. I'm sorry, dear.
The Empress stands from her throne and begins to walk toward all of you and waves her hand, and Bellamy at her side moves with her. Seems to be walking of their own volition alongside her. And walks up to you, Stellan, until you are quite close to each other. How tall is Stellan?
I believe we established Stellan is about 5'11", 5'10"-ish.
You are taller than the
Taller.
Empress. So she has to sort of tilt her chin up to look up toward you. Again, I ask, are you sure that this is the deal that you want to make?
We came here with a goal. I'm a man of my word.
Very well. She will snap her fingers, and the Bellamy that is at her side turns corporeal, and begins to flesh out, begins to look more alive, and then slowly begins to sort of drift away into nothingness. You will find your Bellamy in the indigo sun when you return home. If you want a time to send your friends home, I believe now is the time to do so.
To the three of you, Carter, Bellamy. I guess that's not your name anymore. I
Annabelle.
don't need to know. Carter, Annabelle, Alistair, I hereby, upon the death of my own soul, relinquish you from your contracts. You are free to go and live as you please. Just do not waste the things I have taught you, please.
I wouldn't dream of wasting those gifts, Stellan.
And as a favor to me, if you would, take care of my neighbor. She is old. Obviously, it's not like round-the-clock care. You don't have to do all that. But, like, bring her some food or something once in a while. Talk to her. Listen to her woes. Help her tend her garden. Be nice to Carter. Help him find a job. Now that he's no longer getting paid by me.
Does he get to keep his house?
I'm dead. What do I care? Ooh, tell Dagon that I'm dead. I think that might be interesting because Dagon was looking for something in my brain and, well, they can't get it if I'm dead. So, it might be
I
funny.
told him I would check in when I get back.
Good. Good.
Do we at
Maybe
least get visitation with you? Like a
This-
weekly Skype?
the spell that took us here should be in my desk. The only way to get into my home is to solve the puzzle.
God damn, of course it is.
I can do that.
It also took a lot of magic to cast, so you may need to do it together. And remember, if you do come visit, steal your hearts, show no fear. Hopefully, why is clear now. Anything else? What am I forgetting?
Israel wants to hug Stellan.
Stellan doesn't hug back. They look very shocked and awkward.
Group hug! Or Annabelle leans in.
Even if you don't consider it, thank you for being a friend.
And Stellan will pull out their violin and begin to cast the door.
You start to cast this spell. The Empress takes several steps back to give you space to cast your magic. It is a bit more of a fight to cast it this time around, just because magic does not come easily in the Pale, but you're able to do it. But it takes a little bit more grit to be able to figure it out. But eventually the doorway is opened there in front of all of you, and each of you can step through if you so choose.
Israel will be the last one out. She's making sure everyone else gets out first.
Alistair is definitely dragging their feet somewhat. They did not join in on the group hug. They instead just lightly place a hand on Stellan's shoulder and say, I know it was part of our deal, but thank you. Thank you for showing me parts of myself that I didn't realize I had. And I wish we weren't leaving you here.
Consider it my comeuppance.
I don't think that this is a punishment you deserve. I think you were kind in the ways you knew how to be, and I think you communicated with us in the ways you understood through negotiation and making deals. And you certainly got what you needed out of them, but you also saw what we needed from you. Thank you.
Be firm with your legion. They will be a stronger tool than I could have ever provided you.
If I'm honest, Stellan, I think I might be seeing you here soon enough. But we'll see.
Nah, they won't let that happen.
And Alistair will walk through.
Waiting for the demons to come through with the halo, and then Israel will step in.
Give them room.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Bellamy, have you gone through the portal? Annabelle, I should say.
I don't think she has yet because she's just looking at Stellan. And she just goes, this isn't what was supposed to happen.
Promised you your sister back and that I'd teach you. I did both of those things. And in exchange, you did as I told.
Is there really a point in going back, though, if people keep dying because of me?
I'm not dying because of you.
Would you have been here if it wasn't for me?
Oh, almost certainly. Carter was here. I would have figured it out eventually.
Would you?
Yeah. I know you don't think I care. I don't care about him, but I do.
It's not that I don't think you care, Stellan. I think I think that you don't let yourself show it to the point that you become oblivious.
Get some sleep.
I don't have to. There's no deal anymore. And she sounds like really sad about that.
Get some sleep. Enjoy time with your sibling. Stay friends with Alistair.
Do you really think they'll still want to be my friend when I just got you killed?
You didn't get me killed. They understand it. I understand it. I'm holding up my end of the bargain. Remember the first thing I ever told the three of you? If there's one thing you ever say about me, it's that I'm a man of my word.
You better call on weekends.
I don't think phones work here. And
Find
also,
a
I don't
way.
own one. I will work on it.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yes, well, the three of you were a not unpleasant experience.
Stellan!
Annabelle?
Just for once, can you...
I hope Eliseo finds a way.
I do too. And she's gonna give them a hug that they're probably not gonna return because it's
Just
Stellan.
like arms all the way up.
They're like a
No,
scarecrow. And she's gonna walk back through the portal.
You all are through the door. Stellan, you stay on the other side in the pale as the portal closes. And you find yourself back in an indigo that does not seem very changed considering how changed it is for all of you. Indigo seems like it always does. It's always fall here. It's always autumn with a crisp winter air on the way. It's always brimming with magic, but things seem a little bit different for each of you. Bellamy, what do you do when you get back?
I think she's kind of numb after what just happened. Because it wasn't supposed to. Like, in her mind, she went through, she didn't do anything she didn't do anything other than get someone trapped in her mind. So I think she just kind of like numbly is just walking back to Bellamy's house to see if the Empress actually did hold up her bargain.
And she did. You do find Bellamy there. Stunned, confused. Everything felt like a dream to them. They don't exactly remember their time in the Pale, but they are there. They are alive. They're existing once again in the world of the Indigo Sun. Alistair, what do you do when you get back?
I think the first thing Alistair does is go to Stellan's house. They at least try to solve the puzzle to get inside, but then they also do what Stellan asked. They go to check on Stellan's neighbor, see what she needs, make sure that those needs are met, and thinks for a very brief moment about using Stellan's now empty house as a place to crash, but that doesn't seem quite right, and they're not ready to go back to Bellamy's if they ever are.
Stellan's neighbor gives you stories about Stellan that don't seem to align with the person that you know. They are very fond stories. They're very friendly in these stories. Stellan is uh, a a commonplace figure in their neighbor's life, and she speaks fondly of Stellan whenever she talks about them.
I don't think that surprises Alistair. I think that is exactly what they would have anticipated, and I think their only sadness there is that they didn't get to see those aspects of Stellan themselves.
She is very keen to show off this very nice cane that Stellan had made for her that she uses. It looks very polished, very clean. It's probably the nicest thing that she owns. And she's very, very satisfied with it. Isra, what do you do when you get back?
What does a Sonomancer do when they are back in a place where they can sleep safely? She is going to return to her neighborhood. She will hear the calls of a house that shifts and hears that her house is a garden with a gazebo in the center. She will run through the garden. The house recognizes her presence, rustles in recognition, and as she steps over the threshold of the gazebo, she's in her home. And she will run upstairs to her own bed and crash.
As soon as you sleep, Eliseo is there in your dream, ready to walk with you. They seem beyond ecstatic that you've returned safely. Do you tell them about what happened in the Pale?
She will rush into Aliceo's arms and just collide with them. And I think through old Hollywood glam type of like soft crying, she'll explain what happened, explain the request from Stellan, her hope that maybe they can find a way. And a weird sense of pride that she didn't have to use the stained glass. It was just the influence of herself that, with the assistance of just being associated with Eliseo, was able to get something done.
Eliseo, I think, is genuinely surprised to hear about what Stellan did. Did not expect that from them. And she agrees to try to find a way to get Stellan back. Doesn't take much negotiating, doesn't take much pushing on your side in order to get her to agree. They think that it all does seem unfair. The Empress of the Pale being unjustly cruel, needlessly cruel, and will begin looking for a way to get Stellan's soul back to this side of things.
I'll have to speak to Dagon eventually and tell him about what happened to Stellan. But he also asked about you. He told me to make my own choice, but I want to hear from you. How do you want to handle that?
It's not fair what happened to Stellan. That much is very clear. And it's unfair to all of you to have had to bear witness to it. We'll find a way to get Stellan back. I don't know how, since I can't get to the Pale myself. But somehow, we will. I was not fond of them, but they seem to have redeemed themselves in the end. And they made sure you got back to me safely, and that's all that I can ask.
There's still some troubles. People are... I knew people were curious about you. I didn't quite realize until the events that occurred how many people and entities are curious about you. But today we rest. I would like a quiet walk, and we'll figure it out later.
Anything that you want, my love.
He leans in to like hold Eliseo a bit tighter and just looks up. And she's also quite tall, but Eliseo's still taller. And just reaches to kiss before taking their hand and walking.
Eliseo returns the kiss and holds your hand and tries to find you quiet, peaceful dreams to walk in that evening. And we turn to Stellan in the Pale with the Empress. Stellan, you find yourself trapped in this stronghold for quite a while. It's almost as though the Empress doesn't quite know what to do with you now that she has you. She lets you have the run of the Pale. You're welcome to, once you can leave the stronghold, explore as you will, before she eventually asks you to go and retrieve somebody for her from the Indigo, to escort a soul to her, if you will, one of the dead. It's not somebody that you know. It's not somebody you ever made a deal with. It's a random person. But she asks you in a way just to see how you will respond and if you will comply. Do you do what she asks?
Now, the deal was just that I stick around so that Bellamy can leave.
That was the deal.
What does she have in return for me?
What do you mean?
She wants me to fetch a soul. I'm more than happy to do it, but prices must be paid. The till must be balanced.
I don't think she offers you anything. The Empress expects loyalty and obedience to a certain extent.
Loyalty and obedience wasn't the deal.
The first time, I think it's with threats. She just says, threatens to make you part of the castle if you don't comply. Offers you your continued freedom to explore the Pale as you will.
All things that are fine and well, but again, not part of the deal.
Is it going to be like this the entire time having you here?
Annabelle warned you.
No mere mortal indeed.
Told you so.
Tell
Now,
me, you don't want time to go to the other side, at least for a bit, to go and fetch me this soul?
The time is nice, but I figure you're hoping for efficiency in all things. A new brick for the wall and all that. I'm interested in something a bit more tangible.
And what would that be?
Just a bit of your magic. A taste. Mete it out as little or as much as you like, but if you want me to fetch souls, that's what I want. I want magic. I want weaves, threads to pull on. Run of the place isn't enough. Have you seen out there?
Have I seen out there? I made out there.
You
Of
did.
course I know.
It could do with some redecorating. You want the castle to be uncomfortable, but you didn't bother to make the rest of outside uncomfortable?
I don't need to be out there. You are a difficult person to be around.
I am a very reasonable man, assuming everyone around me is reasonable too.
And I am not reasonable.
Well, so far you have been, but your insistence on obedience and loyalty when that was not agreed upon when we made our deal was not, well, it seems a bit improprietous, and I would hate to think you that way.
Bit of magic then.
A bit of magic.
For now, that can be spared. And slowly over time, you learn a bit more about the pale magic that the Empress has. I think with Stellan slowly, possibly plotting and scheming as always, that is where we will close Blooming in the Rot, our Invisible Sun actual play. This has been an absolute delight. I adore all of you. We'll go around the circle once again really quickly just to let everybody know who you are, where they can find you, in case you are working on any other projects that you want to plug. We will start with Nox.
Hi everyone, I'm Nox Kidos. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I was playing Bellamy, or as she's actually named, Annabelle. I'm not doing anything because I'm sick. So right now I'm on hiatus for a show on Singularity called Country of Mist. I should know that my partner is the GM. And you can find me on social media at Nocturnal_7. Same thing for Twitch. But if you want to actually like hear my voice and shit, then you should check out Feminist Book Club. I'm a contributor there, and I write blog posts there, and I do podcast episodes. So, and I drink Dr. Pepper.
We'll send it over to JT.
Hello, I'm JT. You can find me all over the internet at WeebG. You can also find me all over the internet at Entropy Emporium, because this is technically my channel. It runs itself at this point, and that's super extra true these last couple of days. But if you want to catch me, you can find me every other Tuesday on Tales from the Table Studios as the saddest man in England, Carlisle Vicori, for our Sentai and Sensibility game. It's been very fun. Carlisle has made an appearance at both tables now in mention and in passing, but it's good. There's a lot of sad stuff going on there, and I like it. You can find me at a guest spot on Wednesdays coming up, I think, in a couple weeks, depending on if I get this uploaded soon. But otherwise, you can find me here on Thursdays for God Complex and on Fridays for Weird Wilds War. Both of those are bi-weekly games. And then every other Saturday is our shonen-inspired actual play that I will talk endlessly about if I don't stop myself, called Star Shard. It is a battle manga RPG. The Dawn system is great. The characters are great. The set design is beautiful. So thanks, Harper, for that. That is all that I have for now. Keep in tune with Entropy stuff. We've got some projects in the works that should hopefully be coming about soon enough.
We'll send it over to Ava.
Well, for the last time on Invisible Sun. Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here, and I was your bride of the stained glass angel, Isra. Thank you for having me here. And you can find me anywhere at Madam Ava Couture, everywhere except for Threads because I refuse to do Threads, but I'm on the hellscape as Twitter because it still tickles me on occasion. Right now, I don't really have a home spot, but I have vacation homes that you can find me on occasion. Fusca's channel on Saturdays with D&D, and you'll find me on Folk and Myth for, well, currently right now, Hunters, but I'm usually there for vampire shenanigans. And it is the beginning of Virgo season when we recorded this, so happy Virgo season. And depending on when this is released, happy birthday to me, belated birthday to me, early birthday, because I'm a 28th baby. But thank you for having me, and last but not least, JD.
Hello, I am JD. I have been Alistair. I can be found primarily on Blue Sky at JD, not Jason Dean. My schedule's been weird lately because life has been lifing, but I am most often with Live from the Apocalypse as one of our admin storytellers and regular players there. And I can also be found here at Entropy Emporium, running They Call Us Villains, and sometimes playing in some games as well as a cast member. I will also be on Folk and Myth starting very soon, rejoining for the second season or third season. I don't know what season we're on because so much is happening in that Vampire World of Darkness series, but I will be there and I'll be popping up in a few other places as well. But I think that is it for me.
Thank you kindly once again to my cast. Of course, my name is Kian. I use any and all pronouns. You can find me on the interwebs at uptight_chiffon, uptight-chiffon, depending on where you're hanging out. Everything that I'm working on. Actually, no, I will be joining JT every other Tuesday for Sense and Sensibility. Our Power Rangers, what is that time period called? I just blanked on the word. Victorian, thank you. Our Power Rangers Victorian game. I do not play. I play a totally normal person in that game. Super chill, super casual.
Completely untrue.
Absolutely the most normal little lad. Avery is super, super chill. I'm all the Tuesdays I'm not there. I am over here for They Call Us Villains, our horror mass actual play jammed by JD. And then everything else that I'm working on is currently in production, so I can't talk about it yet. So follow me on social media. That is where you'll hear about it first. Thank you so much for hanging out. We love you. We love to hang out with everybody. Come join us on Discord if you are so inclined, and we will catch you on the next Entropy Emporium game. Say goodbye, cast.
Goodbye, cast.
Drink Dr. Pepper.
Drink Dr. Pepper, that's right. Not sponsored. We are not sponsored.
We tried.
We did try.
We really did try.
I did send several emails back to the Dr. Pepper team.
Next season. Okay.
Next season.